Welcome back to First Seasons, everybody. We are week 47 and there is so much stuff going on site today. I don't even know where to start, but let's start with what's going on in the front yard here. So we've got Team Sprucehill stripping all the forums that have been done. So since we were last here, the concrete guys they've come, they've filled our forums full of concrete, and now the team is stripping them. Now, one of the things that we do here at Sprucehill, and one of the advantages of working with a company that's on the larger size, like Sprucehill, is we have all of this leftover lumber from the forums. And you know, if you're working with another smaller contractor, maybe this lumber gets thrown away, or maybe it gets put up on Craigslist, who knows? What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this lumber and we're gonna repurpose it on other job sites. So what we'll do is we'll actually give this client 50% credit back for this lumber, and we'll charge the other clients who need this lumber as well 50%. So it's a win-win. Instead of, you know, having to pay full price for this stuff and it getting thrown into a landfill, which is also wasteful, this is going to get repurposed and both clients win. They get the lumber, the use of the lumber, for 50% of the cost. And I think that's a great something to do. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Let's have a look down this wall here, Kyle. Tell me that wall isn't straight. Absolutely magnificent craftsmanship from our team here. Loving it. So Kyle wanted me to spend a couple seconds to just explain to everybody how this all comes together, right? So first and foremost, you get your footing done. Now, depending on, and I'm standing on the footing right now, and so depending on the size of the wall that you're building, you might want to pour your footing first before you pour the wall on top of it. Right, if you're pouring a wall that's 6 feet or taller, I might suggest you pour your footing first so you have a really good stable base on which to form your wall. In this case, this is roughly 4 feet high, so well within tolerances to allow us to do what we would call a monopour. So the footing and the wall were poured on the same day at the same time. Now, there's 1x4 cleats on top of the 2x10 form for the footing right here. So 2x10, 1x4. And then we put down a 2x4 on the flat here. So then the next step is to put your bottom whaler in, and then you put a piece of plywood against that, stand that up. And obviously, like, there's a whole bunch of coordination that goes into making these custom forms. So, you know, there are rental forms, there's custom forms. This is a custom form, so we just got sheets of plywood and we drilled holes in it to allow the cone ties to go inside of it. And this little orange thing is a leftover cone tie. I can show you, stay there, Kyle. This is what a cone tie looks like before it gets covered in concrete. And so this part here, right, so basically from this part and out, gets snapped off. And so you can bend it over and snap it off, or you can use a wrench and twist it. And this piece snaps off, this piece snaps off. And then ultimately what will happen, yeah, and this is for all you in the comments that thinks that I'm just a salesperson and I don't know what I'm doing. Kiss my ass. You can just use this to pull out the cone ties. And so ultimately, the guys will come through and pull the cone ties out, and that's what the finished look is. So nice, clean, beautiful. Obviously, you don't want to leave the plastic ties in the wall because that would look crappy. And that's the finished product. Well, I'm not sure if Kyle recorded us taking it off or not, but if he did, enjoy that. So in order to get this kind of angled finish on the side here, what you've got to do is you've got to use a piece of cant strip. And so this is 3/4 inch cant strip. And all that is a piece of 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch wood that's cut on the diagonal, and it gives you this 45-degree angle like that, right? And so that's where the concrete stops. And so you can see here, you can actually even see where the nails were in the cant strip. And that's just part of the joy of forming concrete. The only way to get that sort of stuff perfect is to actually go in and countersink these nails and fill them with wood filler. There's really no other way to get it absolutely perfect. But I mean, honestly, nobody's paying attention to that. And if somebody has an issue with it, you can always have somebody come by and pard your walls to get it absolutely perfectly flat. But like, I mean, I don't know. This looks pretty freaking awesome to me. I mean, of course, one of the biggest stressors that we have to pay attention to now is making sure that we don't chip anything as the forms come off, because, well, that would just be a bad day. And that would make people very sad. But nonetheless, that's how you get that angled look, is by adding a piece of cant strip there. So now you know. So ultimately what's gonna happen is we're gonna have a horizontal fencing installed on top of this wall over here and that wall over there. This area here is all gonna be more or less level, pretty close anyways. Nice concrete path here. And Kyle's more or less standing where a future double gate will enter into the property. So that will culminate up to the walkway, up to the house. Now, one of the things that I was just talking with Matt, the project manager, about is that if you live someplace where it gets below 0 degrees centigrade, you really don't want to install tile on the outside of your home where it gets rained on. And the reason being is inevitably moisture is going to find its way underneath your tile. And when it does, when it freezes, that water expands, and over time, that tile will lift and pop up. And so if you are trying to build something that is going to last the test of time and not cause you future grief and headache and heartache, you really want to make sure that you don't use mortar to affix your exterior tile. You want to put it in sand or something like that. Tile, mortar, outside, not good. Now, if it's on your exterior of your home, like on the outside vertically, less of an issue because you're not really going to see as much water get behind the tile in those applications generally. But certainly on the flats like here, I highly, highly, highly push back against the use of mortar where it's not covered. If it's covered, who cares? It's okay. But that's that moisture, right? That rain gets in there, it freezes, it causes all sorts of problems. Water is always a builder's enemy. Okay, so we are inside of the house here now. We have got floor protection down. So in the main thoroughfares, we have applied, it looks like 2 layers of door skin to the floor on top of the round board to just make sure that we do everything in our power to make sure that the flooring underneath does not get damaged. So again, you want to work with people that care about what they do. Sprucehill is at the top of that list, and we're doing everything in our power to make sure that this home stays looking amazing for these clients before they move in. Let's go downstairs or down to the foyer here. I mean, come on. How much beautiful natural light is pouring into this space right now. I was hoping to turn the lights off to just show how much natural light's in here and that like the pot lights really aren't making that big of a difference, but I can't figure out how to turn the lights off right now. The switches aren't all installed yet, so it is what it is. But what a great space. And Kyle, look over here. I've got more masonry work being done over here to add accent for this area over here. So what a freaking cool detail our design team has come up with, right? This is going to look magnificent when this is done. So excited. And we've got so much cabinetry going in now, like, dude, it's looking great. Let's keep going over here. So we've got our trade partners here installing the new railing that's going on the outside deck here. So that is happening literally as we speak. So by this time next week, that'll be done and looking great. I'm guessing the glass will be here in 2 or 3 weeks because generally they get the railing installed and then they go ahead and measure up for all the glass so that everything is just perfect when it arrives. But sometimes they bring it with them. It really varies, depends. We've got this amazing kitchen. Of course, because it's Team Sprucehill, they've already covered up most of what we want to see because we care about protecting our finished product. But I mean, this is just absolutely beautiful work here. We're working with our partners at Pacific Rim Cabinets. They produce an amazing product. And I'll tell you, the installers that we get to work with that they send to our projects, they are just the greatest guys. We love having them on site. They are forever solving problems, not creating them. And you know what? That is what you look for when you're working with trades. You want people that are going to solve problems. That is critical. But anyways, I mean, these have been installed so that there's no handles anywhere. And the door is just slightly longer than the cabinet. So you can easily pull it open like so. And then maybe, Kyle, you can see this door here. This has been done with a bevel top. So you just pull that back and that's how you open. I'm assuming the drawers have the same sort of profile. But of course we can't see it because it's all behind round board because it's all been protected. Let's keep rolling. So this is pantry. And what a glorious pantry it is. Again, lots of natural light. Cool little window detail here. Cabinets, or sorry, not cabinets. Countertops are coming in next week. So they've been measured. They're all ready to go. They just need to be installed. So there'll be, I believe, another fridge there. Another dishwasher here, possibly, looks like, maybe, probably. What a great space. I mean, just so much storage. absolutely awesome. And again, the finish on this product is just fantastic. Here we are in the laundry. So we've got the dog stuff washer dryer right here. And we've got the human stuff washer dryer right here. Because, well, there's a reason why this project is called 4 Seasons. And that's how it's going to roll here. We've got really cool floating shelves going on here. And they've got undermounted lighting strips going on in there. We've got, and yeah, like I thought, we've got a beveled kind of top for the drawers here, Kyle. You see that? You know, and one of the things that I really value in our cabinetry trade partners is the finish, right? I've got Pacific Rim cabinets at my own home, and we've been in there almost 3 years now. And the finish on these cabinets is just, it's beautiful. It is so soft, it's so smooth. They really do a great job. I really, if you're looking for a great cabinet company to work with, again, Pacific Rim Cabinets. The bottom of these doors have got the same bevel on it, right? And that just allows us to do handleless cabinets. Doing it this way ain't cheap though, just so you know. So we've got tile now, and we've done a tile feature wall. Our design team has just knocked it out of the park on this project as far as I'm concerned. It is absolutely beautiful, and what a great detail to have in the family room, right? Like this is gonna be where these clients hang out for the majority of the time. Fireplace, television up there, watch a hockey game, cuddle with the dogs. Life is gonna be fantastic in here. We've got more storage going along here and a bench so people can sit down here and do whatever, or just store shit. But anyways, how freaking awesome is this? And the volume of space and the height in here is just insane. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Okay, so we are now in the powder room, and we've got this beautiful tile accent wall here. So absolutely stunning details. Everything has been meticulously selected. Our design team literally chose the layout and the pattern for how this wall came to be. So that was all done on site, exactly as was requested. And I think it looks spectacular. What do you think? Good Lord. Exquisite. I mean, this is so cool. What a great bathroom. This is gonna be so cool. Holy smokes. Absolutely stunning, this space. Oh, I'm so excited to get the clients moved in here. This is gonna be, wow. Absolute wow. We've got flooring installed in the mechanical room, looking great. Got some baseboard going in here, so that is looking fan-freaking-tastic. Super clean, super pro looking. Cannot wait to get some equipment in there and get this home fired up. So one of the things that we had to convince the clients of was to actually wall this area off here, because the original design had this as being open to below. And I was just like, it just was gonna look silly to have this be open. And anyways, it just would look silly. So we've walled this off now. This is clean. And then what happened is over here, Kyle, we have a custom made elf-size access door for the storage area underneath there. So now things have a logical use of space, right? And things look clean, make sense, and just function really, really well. Look at this suite. I mean, this is insane. I mean, it's not really a suite. It's more meant to be like an exercise area, exercise room. But how phenomenal is this space? I mean, so much area to do things in. And this custom floating shelving, awesome. Looking so good. Here, we've got finished room. We can see that our friends have already started to get the moldings prepped for painting. So that's already happening. So as we try to do, we kind of have our trades follow one another from one floor to the next. And that way we can just minimize that project time horizon, right? I mean, that's probably a great question you could ask your contractors. How do you layer your trades, right? Like, do you have them complete all of their work and then the next person starts? Or do people work at the same time and you spread them out around the house? And so what we found works really well for us is we start from one floor and work our way down or up, right? And you just have everybody follow behind. And it really works well, only if you've got a house that's big enough to afford it, of course. But on a project of this size, absolutely more than enough space for people to set up, work from the top or from the bottom up, and life is good. Everybody gets to play in the sandbox and there's no fighting. Basement bathroom, looking great. Beautiful vanity. Toilet will go here. Life is great. Okay, so here we are in the backyard now, and we've got the new retaining wall formed and poured and ready to go. And so I'm not exactly sure what the details are for back here, but I know it's gonna be awesome once it's all done. We're just making progress left, right, and center on this project, and it is so wonderful to see. They're getting the final details done for the siding as well right now, so that's all happening. I mean, it's all coming together, and it is looking so very good. Sprucehill Homes is the Lower Mainland's leading major transformation specialist. If you are planning on renovating your home, we want to be your partners in success. Please call us, find us on the web, book a call if you like, learn more. In the meantime, if you find our content informational, helpful, you think somebody else might enjoy it, we sure would appreciate it if you share it. We'd also appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel or follow us. And in the meantime, thanks for watching, stay awesome, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye now.